20 business laws every entrepreneur should be aware of. If you are an entrepreneur or small business owner, watch this program to understand your legal responsibilities as well as the basic laws you should familiarize yourself with. Keep in mind that courts won't give you a break simply because you're not a lawyer and thus aren't supposed to know the laws. It is your responsibility to know, or at least familiarize yourself with, key laws underpinning commercial activities in the sector your business is engaged in. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. How you doing today? I'm doing fantastic. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today we want to talk about 20 business laws every entrepreneur should be aware of. Tax laws. Number 1, you need to obtain an employer identification number. To file your business taxes, you will need an EIN, an employer identification number. This is kind of similar to a company's social security number. To get one, visit the IRS website and you'll get the number immediately after filing out the necessary forms on the internet. It takes less than 15 minutes. So if you currently don't have an EIN, go get it. 2, you want to know the taxes you have to pay. Now, whether your business has a staff of 1 or 100, the IRS wants to have a portion of your income. So take some time to review the federal tax, Social Security, Medicare, and federal unemployment tax requirements. Now, if you go to www.irs.gov, you will see a breakdown of your tax responsibilities, and as an owner, you also want to take the opportunity to talk to an accountant about these obligations and figure out a budget. Now, when it comes to a tax professional, you can hire a CPA, a certified public accountant, an EA, an engaged agent, or a tax attorney. Some tax attorneys are very good. They're very great also at helping you file your tax return. Now, in addition to federal taxes, you likely have to pay state taxes as well. So use the website, the same IRS website, to research your state tax requirements. 3, think about taxes when hiring. When you plan to hire an employee, it will definitely impact your taxes. The amount of time an employee works for you will make a big difference when it comes to taxes. So you want to research the differences between a W-2 employee and a 1099 employee before even making any hiring decision. So that's for tax laws. So you have to think about EIN, you have to think about your employment taxes, and you got to think about how hiring affects your taxes, whether as a W-2 employee or a 1099. Let's talk now about advertising and marketing laws. As a small business owner, you have to, or as an entrepreneur for that matter, you want to be aware of advertising and marketing laws. There is a law called Truth in Advertising and Marketing. Now, this law requires all advertising or marketing efforts to be truthful. You got to be honest. Besides, if you make any claims during an advertisement, you must have full proof to back it up. You can never try to be misleading or unfair. This rule becomes even more specific when you market to children or use endorsements. You also have number 5, Can Spam Act. Now, there is something called an email law, and it's called the Can Spam Act. So the Can Spam Act regulates commercial emails. The law requires honesty and bans deceptive subject lines. In addition, you got to tell recipients where you're located and give them an easy way to opt out of your email messages. That's why sometimes if you look at newsletters, if you scroll to the bottom of the letter of the newsletter, you would see the sender's postal code, the zip code, where they're located, and they'll also give you a link to opt out, to unsubscribe. It's because of the Can Spam Act. Number 6, telemarketing sales law. If you plan on selling products by mail, phone, or online, you need to brush up on the FTC's telemarketing rules. FTC stands for the Federal Trade Commission. Under this rule, businesses must ship products within 30 days, provide delivery notices if a product is delayed, and give refunds if an order cannot be filled. You also want to check out the rules surrounding the do not call registry. Those also cover the telemarketing sales law. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We are also having a conversation here around 20 business laws every entrepreneur should be aware of. If you love the clarity and the quality of the content so far, please consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you are aware whenever we drop a new show. And we do this every single day. Comment below, share, and comment. Comment below, share, and like, rather. I want to talk to you now about licensing. Law number 7, business licenses. To legally start a business, you likely need a business license. So you want to call your local city government. You want to ask them whether you need a license and if you need to know about any zoning rules. Now, for federal and state licensing, you want to check out the Small Business Administration website, www.sba.gov, and you want to follow the links that are applicable to your business. Now, let's talk about employment laws. There are several of those very important laws here. You have something called the Fair Labor Standards Act. Now, this act regulates federal minimum wage, overtime rules, child labor bans, and record-keeping requirements. You want to read through it to make sure you comply with the current regulations. Now, folks, if you're not a lawyer or you have no legal training, I'm not saying you have to read and familiarize yourself and understand. You can hire someone, but it's always very good for you to be aware, which is the title of our video. You want to be aware that there is such a thing as law, because you'll be the one running the business on a daily basis. So if you know those laws, or if you understand them a little bit, you will be less likely to have some kind of issues, some kind of scenarios of miscompliance, of non-compliance, right? So besides the Fair Labor Standards Act, you have the federal Equal Employment Opportunity laws. So this set of laws prohibits discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. It also includes equal pay for men and women and protects people with disabilities. Then you have the Family and Medical Leave Act. So for instance, if a staff member is dealing with a medical condition or a family member with a medical condition, there are rules an employer must follow. From time off to compensation, you want to read this guide to understand how this act affects your business. Then you have the Occupational Safety and Health Act, the OSHA. And this is administered by OSHA, which is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. And the act, in this case, guarantees employees a safe work environment free from recognized health hazards. Then you also have workers' compensation. Now, most states in the union require employers to buy an insurance policy that compensates employee if they get hurt or become ill from workplace exposure. Now, if you want to know more about your responsibility as a business owner and what an employee is entitled to, you can check out the Department of Labor website. So that's www.dol.gov. And the next law that you should be aware of if you're a small business owner or an entrepreneur is something called at-will work doctrine. In all states except Montana, there is an at-will work law in place. This is pretty clear, right? It means that employers can fire an employee at any time for any reason unless it is an illegal one. Likewise, an employee can leave the job at any time. Okay, I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're also having a conversation here around 20 business laws every entrepreneur and small business owner should be aware of. I've given you 13 already. I have 7 more to tell you. So, online business laws. So you have sales tax collection. So owners of a brick and mortar storefront, they charge a sales tax that's required in that specific area. Now, if you have an online business, according to the Federal Trade Commission, if your business has a physical presence in a state, such as a store, office, or a warehouse, you must collect applicable state and local tax. Of course, some states don't have any sales tax. You'll want to read the FTC guidelines and check with your state's revenue agency to make sure you comply with the law. So the FTC website is www.ftc.gov. You also have, when it comes to online business laws, you have international sales laws. So with the website, any business can sell their products internationally, right? And this instantly opens your business to a new audience, but that exposure comes with regulations. So it poses questions about shipping, various taxes, and customs. And for that also, the FTC has a clear guide to help you navigate the international waters, and they have everything categorized by country and by type of products or service you're selling. So you might want to double check that. The privacy law. You have number 16, data security. If your business collects sensitive personal information from its customers, you must have a sound security plan in place. This is important, right? For instance, besides keeping the data under lock and key, you should only collect the information that you need, nothing more. Again, if you need more info, check out the FTC guide on that as well. Healthcare laws. You have the Affordable Care Act, right? In the last few years, healthcare laws have drastically changed, right? Now we have a new Affordable Care Act that impacts every business. You want to prepare your startup or your existing business by reading about the new healthcare policies. Healthcare privacy. If your small business offers healthcare policies that can be accessed online, you'll need to come up with a security plan for this data as well. It's called HIPAA, and you want to make sure that you don't run afoul of that particular law. If the information is ever breached, there are rules in place to notify those affected. Another law you should be aware of as a small business owner or entrepreneur is intellectual property. So you need to protect your intellectual property. So if you develop, say, a new product, you will want to protect it with a patent. You can protect your company. You need to protect your company's name, symbols, and logo. And you can do so by applying for a trademark. You can learn more if you go to the PTO.gov. This is the United States Patent and Trademark Office. You can learn more about the process there. You can also to protect books, movies, digital work, or musical pieces, among others. You want to copyright your work, all right? And the United States Copyright Office can help you file the correct paperwork. Now, last but not least, we have finance law. This is bankruptcy. Now, obviously, I hope that you'll never get there as an entrepreneur. But in some cases, new businesses will hit some financial roadblocks, right? So if your business has cash flow problems and is exploring the possibility of bankruptcy, there are several laws you want to familiarize yourself with before filing the paperwork. We have an entire show dedicated to that, and you might want to check that website about the different types of bankruptcy, whether it is chapter 7, 11, or 13 that you can file for as a small business. Now, just make sure that you are able to talk to the right lawyer. Try to have an experienced attorney and talk about laws that are specific to your business, right? Anything in this show should not be construed as legal advice. We have done research, and we are reporting the results of our research. And if you have a particular situation going on, you might want to double check with the lawyer for that. Now, we are at the end of today's conversation here. Let's quickly recap the conversation. 20 business laws every entrepreneur should be aware of. So we have obtain an employer identification number. Know the taxes you have to pay. Think about taxes when hiring. Truth in advertising and marketing. Can Spam Act. Telemarketing laws, sales laws. Business licenses. Fair Labor Standards Act. Federal Equal Employment Opportunity laws. Family and Medical Leave Act. Occupational Safety and Health Act. Workers' Compensation. At-will work doctrine. Sales tax collection. International sales laws. That's 15. 16 is data security. 17, Affordable Care Act. 18, healthcare privacy. 19, protect your intellectual property. And 20, bankruptcy. Now, remember though, and here is a pro tip for today's conversation. You don't need to know all these laws. Always hire an attorney to help you on your business journey, especially if you have no legal expertise, you have no legal background, because courts will never give you a break because you, quote unquote, didn't know. Courts are expecting you to know. If you're in business, you need to know the laws that apply to the kind of business you are conducting. All right. I will see you next time. Thanks for listening. And until then, remember, stay marvelous.